What's up, everybody? There's one person that might be here. My name's Blake. I'm not sure who you are. Excuse my raspy voice today. I'm sick. But what I'm doing is preparing for a live stream I'm going to do later with my friend Jay, who plays guitar. So if you'd like to hang out a little bit later today, we're going to be doing that at around 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So wherever you might be within the world, just figure that out to Pacific time. So 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, 8 Eastern, sorry, 7 Midwestern or mid, and then 5 o'clock our time, sure, Pacific time in California. So as I get some more people in here, hey, more people. This is a pork pie drum. And hey, Lindsay, what's up? Hey, so I'm just kind of doing a, I guess a lesson video, snare build, in addition to some tuning. Hey, what's up? Hey, another drummer. Lindsay's a drummer as well. I don't know if you have met before, but Lindsay, drummer ELT, drummer ELT, Lindsay. So my name is Blake. And I've got this pork pie. It's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while. I have quite a few snares, but I love Bill's work. A lot of people don't know Bill Detamore. Excuse me, I'm sick too. Is the maker of pork pie. No, I was never that. But if you want to be disrespectful and troll, I can kick you out of here if you'd like. If you want to hang and you want to be, you know, a mature adult, then you're welcome to hang. But yeah, well, yeah, I don't believe you based off your first comment. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay. Yeah, so you're obviously just going to troll, and this isn't the channel for you then if that's what you're going to do. So you can go have fun trolling someone else. Yeah. Don't be a bigot. Yeah, well, you're the one being a bigot. So, later, buddy. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry, guys, about that guy. It's just, you know, it happens. You get little, they're usually kids, you know, and they have nothing better to do. And to be honest with you, people that do that kind of stuff in chats, they're very unhappy people themselves. So think of it this way. They're the ones that have to live with themselves, right? And you might still be here, even though you've been banned from the chat. So that's fine. But you're welcome to you know, say whatever you want. I'm a believer in free speech, but respect goes a long ways, right? Okay? Yeah, really weird. So, you know, they whatever. I don't have a whole lot of rules, as you can see. I'm my own mod, but I'm easygoing, but don't push my buttons because you'll see the bad side of me, and you don't want to see that bad side of me, okay? So back to the fun part. We got this drum, and what it came with was triple flanged hoops. So what I went ahead and did was I took this and took it off, and then I ordered these special. So this is a 13x7 drum, which is an odd dimension. So to get 13-inch hoops, especially die-cast and brass, you really have to search for them. Now, triple flange hoops, they're going to leave the drum more open. Since this is a brass drum and metal, it's meant to give kind of that overall singing overtone sound, that kind of thing. That sound. But a musical version of it, and you can see I've taken the snares off because I'm about to put other snares on. So what I did is I took both sides of the hoops off. So far, all I've done is I put the die-cast brass hoops on each side. And there's this little logo. Okay. Sorry, like I said, I'm sick. And so I left the Hazy 300. That's what we call this on the bottom. It's a 300 mil reso head. But what I did is I put a Aquarian texture coated on top as the batter head. I love these as batter heads. They're great. They're absolutely awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I figured with, you know, die cast with a polished brass hoop, polished brass, solid die cast. I mean, look at that thing sparkle too. It's like, yeah. So I've owned one of these before, but I gifted it to Chris Bates, who is one of my good friends, one of the best online YouTube drummers. He's a professional Army drummer for the military, so amazing drummer. And so I gave him my first one of these. And so this one I got to kind of replace that. And this one is a polished brass. The other one was just a standard brass patina, not polished. But I kind of like this because, believe it or not, the lacquer, the polish, actually affects the sound. So it gives a brighter and a little bit more pingier sound. I know that's a simple term, but it's the same with brass drums. And so if you have a polished drum, it's going to give you kind of more of a brighter sound rather than something that's just patinaed and kind of that rust color, if you will. So anyway, we've got both of those on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the snares on. And now watch, you guys are going to love this. It's going to be hilarious. I'm going to put 30 strand snares on a 13-inch drum. So you can see how much real estate that takes up on a drum. Right? Hey guys. Hey Joshua, sorry, I'm not purposefully ignoring chat or anything like that. I was for a minute because we had some trolls in here asking some really stupid questions. But yes, hello, welcome, glad to see you. Thank you very much. I can't do a backflip because I broke my back. Well, I don't even know if I'm monetized, so I don't know what about the money thing. I don't care about donating money. If you'd like to donate money, go for it. But I don't think I'm even monetized. I don't know. I don't care about that, man. What I care about is playing. I care about having fun. I have 3 different jobs. This is my fun job. I'm a school psychologist and a teacher. So for me, this is my hobby. This is my fun time. This isn't my job. So, but I would love for you guys to sub. I would love for you guys to hang out. I would love for you guys to chat. That's why I'm doing this, for the fun part of it, to get to meet all of you guys and talk shop and build this while I'm kind of talking shop and doing all that. And then if there are any drummers in there and you guys have any questions about how to tune and why am I doing what I'm doing and why am I putting, you know, die cast hoops on a drum that came with silver flange tubes, and why am I putting a 30 strand on a drum that came with a 20 strand, you know, things like that. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And then what I'm going to show you is the drum dial. Now, I typically tune by ear, and even if you have a drum dial, you're still going to have to tune by ear in the end, okay? Because what this is going to do is this is going to tell you pounds per square inch of every lug. So that way you don't have to guess, is my tension even? I think this one's as tight as that side. Is this side as tight? You don't have to guess, okay? So this will tell you exactly where you're at for each lug. It will tell you which ones are high, which ones are low, that kind of thing, so you can get everything to equal tension. Once you get everything to equal tension, then you tap tune. So, and what I mean by tap tune is you go through and... So right away I can hear da 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 da. Right, that's tap tuning. Okay, so when I turn this on, I have to recalibrate it really quick. So this one's the digital one. They make analog ones as well. And to calibrate it, what I have to do is put it on a perfectly flat plane of glass, which is right behind the camera. Okay, so then once it's calibrated, you'll see 0. Okay? Then, once I put it on, this is one lug. See, it'll give you an exact measurement of that lug. Okay? So, right now, we're on the reso side of a drum. These are very thin heads. I've had one explode on me just from slight overtension. Do not do your, we call it giving CPR to the drum. Do not do that with the reso side. The reso side of a snare is not meant to if you have the snares off, yes, you can get that kind of overall, you know, more of a timbale sound. That kind of a sound, right? Yeah, sure, you can get that. But when you have the snares on, it's all about getting your sticking to go into and translate into the snares. So when you have the snares activated or turned on, it chokes the bottom head anyway, right? So what you want is, you want it to be tight, kind of tabletop tight, almost, to where you can push in a little bit, but you do not want to do your traditional, you know, like you would on seating a reso head. Like, some people even stand on their bass drums, but like this, I could do, right? And it's going to be fine, okay? Now, if I did that on this one, my hands would go straight through the head, okay? So that's important. That's very important. So that's why also having a drum dial is very important, because then you don't have to guess. You don't have to kind of, you know, the thing is too, these things are so thin that if you tap tune with a stick, you're going to leave holes all around your bottom head. Okay? So even if you just, you know, I usually use the fat end if I do tap tune with a stick, but I gotten used and trained my ear enough to where I just use my fingers. That kind of a thing. Okay? So be very careful with the bottom head. Okay? That's the moral of the story. Next, what I like to use is white lithium grease. If you ever have a drum where you have sticky lugs, these have to be lubed, okay? Now, since this is kind of a brand new drum, I didn't really have to do much, but I do it to all drums. If I'm ever going to tune a drum, rehab a drum, replace a head, put new snares on, any of that stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm always going to re-lube the lugs. And then I'm also going to go inside the drum and make sure everything's tight. So all of the screws, because all of these are attached by 2 screws on the inside, in addition to your throw off, in addition to your butt plate, right? So you want to make sure, because everything is based off of vibration. So the more, and your snare is getting played more than anything else. So the more it vibrates, and the longer you play it, the looser your lugs come, the looser the internal mechanisms come, you know, all of that kind of thing. So, and not like super quick if you have a good drum, but just saying, if you ever take the time to take the hoops off, replace the head, just take the few minutes to make sure that everything's tight on the inside, and then also lube up your lugs with some white lithium grease. Works great. It's very cheap. It won't hurt your drum. And you only need a very little bit. I'm talking like less than a pea size, like very tiny bit. Put it on the end of your lug, like right here, and then screw it in, pull it out. Screw it in, pull it out. Screw it in, pull it out. So that way you're kind of lubing up the inside of your receivers. In addition to, it'll make it easier to tune, 100%. Okay? So now to the funny part. Let's put the 30 strand on a 13-inch drum. Sorry, I cracked myself up. Oh, another thing. As long as you have lacquer drums, or a wrap, you know, solid, natural wood finish, you can use this on anything. It won't hurt anything. It's non-toxic. It doesn't have ammonia in it. It won't leave streaks. It won't hurt anything. And it helps everything. So, but do not get it on wood. Don't spray it on your shells. Don't do any of that. But if you have lacquer on the outside of your drum, and or if you have a wrap on the outside of your drum, you can totally use this. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. I don't know if you heard me. So you can totally use this. If you have a wrap, you have lacquer, don't get it on your shelves though. Okay, don't get it on wood. But it's great and it cleans up beautifully. I've seen this thing turn like gunky old, like 40-year-old drums into gleaming jewels. So it works and it's cheap. Okay, next, putting on your snares. Here's something a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people get afraid of putting on their own snares. This is your throw off. All right, and it's brand new, so kind of still getting it to work a little bit here. But I'm glad it'll stay up. That's cool, because that means I can get somewhat tension with my snares as I go, rather than all the way on or all the way off. And you can hear how sensitive this is already. Okay, so when you're putting on a snare, or snare wires, I should say, putting on snare wires, you want to make sure your throw off is at least halfway loose to almost all the way loose. I would say like 2/3 of the way loose, right? Maybe like 2 to 3 turns before you're all the way loose. Now be careful because some throw offs have a screw inside. If you unscrew it all the way, what's going to happen is your entire mechanism is going to fall apart, and your throw off is going to fall out, and then you're going to have to put the whole thing back together. And if you don't know how to do that, it's frustrating and it's hard because they're little pieces. You have to get on the inside of it. So best way to avoid that, don't do it in the first place. Okay. So what I'm going to do, flip it around for a second. Now, just remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? So I can kind of tell just by like, you know, how much tension I'm getting as I'm unscrewing this. Let me see if this one has the screw on the inside. Looks like it might. Yeah, it might. So what I do is I'll hold this just in case it does, so this doesn't come off. And then if I feel it disconnect, at least everything's really close together to where all I have to do is kind of push it back together and screw it back in. Yep, see? See how this whole thing's going to come off now? It's because there's a screw inside. But see how I just screwed a little bit back on, and now it's on. Okay, now I don't have to worry about it falling off, but it's almost all the way off. Okay? That's what I mean. So get it there to, you know, where it's about 3, 4 turns away from all the way loose. Okay? That's very important. Very important. Because if you mount your snare wires while this is still under somewhat of tension, you're going to have to redo the whole thing, because when you actually put the throw off back on, it's going to be so tight that you're going to choke the drum, and you're not going to have the sensitivity you want, and it's not going to sound good. Yeah, you're right. Pork pie snare. Yeah, exactly. I know. What a sad individual. You're right. Yep, but like I said, they're the one that has to live with themselves. You know? Whatever. Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good, man. So you can tell I'm easygoing. I'm all about having fun. I'm good vibes. Like, you know, I'm a teacher. I'm a school psychologist. I broke my back when I was a kid. I understand what it's like to be disabled. I've been through it, okay? I might not look like it. I might, you know, have a cheery attitude, but half my spine is fused. I just broke my shoulder a few months ago. I had to have my entire shoulder rebuilt on my dominant arm as a drummer not too. So, okay, I get it. But do you hear me focusing on that? No, I'm focusing on this. I'm focusing on having fun. Okay? All right. So, back to this. So now we've got this about, all the way to, 3-4 turns before it's going to fall off, almost the loosest tension. Okay. That is super important because once you mount everything, you then tighten this to kind of where you want it. You put your throw off back on. Then the snares are going to be at a good tension, equidistant from each side. And what I mean by that, equidistant, in case we have some kiddos or some people in here that don't know what that means, is that this is equal from each side. So it's not all the way to this side. It's not all the way to this side. It's equidistant from each side. Equidistant. Sorry, you can tell I'm a teacher, right? Okay. So we have to make that equidistant from each side. Now, while we're doing that, we also have to make sure that the tension isn't so much that when I put it back on, it's just going to choke the whole drum, and then because then I'm going to have to repeat all my steps. No one wants to repeat all their steps. Believe me. And if you're a drummer like me, and some people enjoy doing this, like, yeah, I kind of do sometimes. Sorry, like I said, I'm sick. I kind of enjoy doing this sometimes, but this is my least favorite part of drumming. Least favorite part of drumming is tuning, for sure. So, now, I like Puresounds, okay? Puresounds are great wires. They're fantastic wires. Let me show you a couple different options here. Tama makes some good ones. But really, Puresound's kind of... Oh, DW makes some good ones. Yeah, you can see how many different snare wires I have. So, you got straight steel, snappy, bright, that kind of thing. You got ones that are kind of a composite of brass and steel and coated steel, which is still bright, but a little more mellow and a little bit more of a brass sound. And then also the way that it connects, where these right here has the greatest amount of contact with the snares on the head. Okay? And then the blasters. So if you're going to get a 20 strand, the Puresound 20 strand blasters, those are like great all around snares. If you play rock, if you play funk, if you play punk, if you play, they're good all around, loud, bright, like they'll cut through a mix. So if you play live a lot and you like 20 stranders, blasters are great. They're great snares. Great snares. So that's basically what I'm using, is I'm using these Puresounds. And they're made by Evans, so they're good. And and they come with straps too, so you can either use a strap or you can use the plastic. I'm just using these because they came with the drum and they already have the marks in them, so it helps me to where I don't have to guess because, just have to clamp it right there. Straps do give you a little bit more sensitivity. Not a whole lot. I mean, honestly, if you're just, smacking 2 and 4 and looking for some ghost notes, like, are the trouble of straps really going to be a whole lot different than nylon? Not really, no. So Bill, what he does is he makes, or he gets his own custom snares. And this is what came on the drum. So you can see they're like no-name Chinese, something like that, right? And so now what I'm putting on it are these. So you can see what a giant difference, right? So, Puresound, pork pie, 20 strand. Hey, what's up, Isaac? How you doing, dude? Good to see you, man. And then 30 strand. So yeah, Puresounds are the bee's knees. And then I also have, Puresound 20 strands too, of course. So I have 13-inch and 14-inch mostly. I haven't owned a 12-inch snare in a long time. I do have a lot of 13s and 14s though. 13s and 14s are kind of my jam. And if I'm going to go with a 13, I'm going to get something like this, because this is actually 7 inches deep. So it's extra deep, but an inch shorter in diameter. So basically, it's got a little bit higher a fundamental or note. We call it a fundamental, but a little bit higher of a note, but a deep sound, a deep sound to it. So I really like it. It's great for all contexts. A lot of people get it for rock and punk and that kind of stuff, but I've used these for everything from like jazz to funk to hip hop to, I mean, it's a great workhorse snare. And then wait till I throw this on and get it all set up. I know you guys are probably like, oh, hurry up, man. So what we're doing now, and just like I said, I'm going to use these because they came with the other snares and they're already marked. And it really doesn't affect your sound all that much. So. Oh no, yeah, that's a great question. No, the snare wire doesn't matter so much. It's the drum, it's the shell is what I meant. Yeah, the snare wires, like, that's just gonna give you your snap, your ghost notes, and your overall, you know, all that we call it a snap, that snap sound, the snare sound, right? So the snares, really, that doesn't affect so much of your overall, how did you describe it? Heavy metal, yeah, mixed with it. What would you put in? Oh yeah. Well, dude, get this drum. This drum. The reason. Okay, let me talk to you for a second here, brother. The reason I like this drum is because here, first, how much do you think this drum costs? Tell me that first. And remember, it comes with these hoops. It doesn't come with these brass hoops. It comes with these hoops. $350. Handmade by a NASA engineer, signed on the inside. And what he does is he takes a light and he shines the light on the inside. New, $350 new. Yeah. And you can find them, like, you know, probably for more like $3. Just go to, like, I don't know if you have a Guitar Center or something near you too. They sell them there. They're usually blue and green colored, the patina color on them. But I don't like those colors, so I always get solid color. Last one I had was like straight brown. It wasn't polished, it was just patinaed. But so yes, so it's $350, and guess what? This drum, I will put this drum up against a Black Beauty, you know, Yamaha, you know, I don't know. Probably not like the best of the best of the best brass drums, but I would like 100% take this. I used to use one of these for probably 3.5 years as nothing but my workhorse. Gigs, teaching, recording, everything. They're phenomenal drums. Phenomenal drums. So he takes a light, he shines a light on the inside. If a single speck of light comes through, he trashes the entire bearing edge and redoes the entire bearing edge till it's completely flat on a plane. Yeah. Because the quality control, it's one guy in LA. He's right up the freeway from me. So and he's built me multiple drum. I know him, and I know this guy down at Drum Flip that I go to all the time. But anyway, so he kind of resources back and forth, and then for my birthday, he made me a drum on my birthday, and then signed it, put my birth date on it, and all that. This one's signed, but it was made in 2023. I just bought this one from him. I didn't order it special. Because if you can find one like this that doesn't have any blues or greens or any of that, snag it, dude. Unless you like blues and greens. I don't know how old you are and that kind of thing. But if you want a drum that's going to match with any kit you get, here, let me show you. Let me show you guys something real fast. Okay. Well, welcome to the abode. Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, if you want a drum that's going to go with any kit you play, because that's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know how old you are, how long you've been playing, or that kind of thing. But kick, snare, and hat. Those are your three main voices, brother, or dudette, brotherette, dude or duet. Those are your three main voices, okay? So, yeah, I know people like playing toms and a lot of cymbals and all that kind of stuff. But what are you playing mostly? You're playing your snare mostly, your kick mostly, and your hat mostly, right? So, you want to get a snare that's going to go with any color kit. So, you can, just because this is brass also, you can kind of see, like, this is what a brass is going to look like with, like, you know, this color tom kit. That kind of thing. Right? Or, like I have this Session Select. I love this kit. This is a great kit. That's a Pearl Session Select, right? Oh, yeah, I know you, Lindsay. I was talking to the other person. So then what I did is, look, I got this drum. This is a pork pie. And this pork pie, you can see, I also put die-cast tubes on it. It came with triple flange, and I put die-cast on it. But see, this is how good of quality that Bill makes of stuff. I mean, just amazingly beautiful. And this is Waterfall Babinga. So Waterfall Babinga with maple on the inside. So it's a hybrid ply of Waterfall Babinga, African Waterfall Babinga, and then maple. But you can see, like, look at his bearing edges, man. They're perfect. They're perfect. And then he signs all of his drums. So, you know, just to show you, like, you want to get something that's going to be, you know, handsome, I guess, if you want to say. And those blues and greens, they don't always go with everything. Like, yeah, sure, if you got a blue and green kit, like I do, you know. Okay, yeah, sure. But see, like, I play with this snare over here because I'm a teacher, so I have, I have multiple kits because I have to be able to play with my students at the same time. But the reason I got this particular snare is for that. Wait, it's for this Pearl Session Select. So that it would go with that kind of design there, right? And match with this color. So it just depends on, you know, kind of what you're looking for, what you like. But just to show you, like, Bill makes great wooden drums too. So if you don't want a metal drum, get a wooden drum. Just show you a little show you a little secret. Don't tell anybody, okay, guys? Oh. Anybody want to buy a Bell Bronze snare? Solid Bell Bronze. And then this is another great company, British, that a lot of people don't know about. Oh my goodness, this is a British Merlin. This thing is 20 ply, cold pressed, and it has leather washers. This is an amazing drum. This is also a 13. So that's pretty much all I get. If I'm going to get something smaller than a 14, I'm going to get a 13. Okay, so anyway, you can see I've got, you know, a Gretsch hammered, brass over chrome, and then another pork pie. Okay, but here's my point, is that, sorry, let me pick my books up really fast here. Sorry, I don't mean to make you dizzy. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You still there? Yeah, I know. I've got a little bit of a problem there, Lindsay. But actually, you know, here's the thing. I'll tell you guys another little secret. I only started with what was it, like $650, $600, $650, and I got a Sonor Force 3001 kit. I used that for 3 years, something like that, and then I sold that for pretty much what I got it for, and then upgraded, and then from there I got like $1,000 kit, upgraded. It took me about 10 years, close to 10 years, but I literally turned $650 into all of this. Well, this refrigerator, that's my bass players, but everything else in here is mine. So just shows you, like, if you invest the right way and you trade up and you get all that stuff going, you can really get some stuff for some great prices. I have a little bot kit. I have a DW bot kit, and then yeah, more drums in here in my cases. Anyway, let's go back to the other drum, okay? So, but I wanted to make that point because it's like, well, what color should I get and what drum should I get? Those are great questions because I want to make sure that you know, I'm giving you guys honest advice and for the best price, and that you're able to kind of see. That should be good, right? Okay, cool. And that you're able to see, you know, you can get great sound for not a lot of money. That's really what I'm trying to show you guys. So, you know, let me go back and see. I wasn't reading the comments through that whole thing, so hold on, let me look really quick. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, the dogs. How many kits do I have? I think I've got 6 or 7. Oh, dude, Perk, hit me up, man. My email is in my bio, too. Hit me up. I'll give you some free lessons. I'll show you what's up, man. Yeah, you're right, dude. Sonar is great. I love Sonar. But their kits, I wanted to ask you too, but it's so expensive that I went ahead and got the Mapex instead. So I got a Mapex Saturn V Exotic for a phenomenal price. And then I got the Pearl Session Select, Studio Session Select, and I ordered that one brand new, but I got a good deal on that too. And then my newest kit is that Thomas Star Classic. So, but they're all different woods. They're all different, you know, some are mahogany, some are hybrid, some are walnut and birch, some are walnut and maple, some are mahogany birch, some are, you know what I mean? Some are solid maple. So it's all about the context and the sound. Oh, that's great, dude. That's a perfect kit. That's a perfect kit. Because then you can, it's a practice kit, it's a gig kit, it's a jam session kit. Yeah, man. And then just create a Frankenstein kit out of it. Just buy another floor tom. Buy another rack tom. You know what I mean? Get a better snare and that kind of thing. Then you can just build that kit. I've done that with so many kits. So many kits. And you know what the key to that is too, drummer ELT? Have you heard of a Yamaha EAD? You probably have. I heard of it, but it's what, you know, El Estepario uses. I use one as well. Yeah, it's a great drum set. You're hooked. You're hooked up. That's great. That's a great kit. But a Yamaha EAD, my friend, if you get one of those, you can get any kit to sound like anything you want. So that little bop kit, that DW, that's called a frequent flyer, and it was designed by Peter Erskine. So I don't know if you know who Peter Erskine is, but he's like the bee's knees of jazz drumming. Well, one of the pillars of jazz drumming, but he designed it. Yeah, it's called a DW frequent flyer because it's the biggest dimensions of a drum that will still is legally allowed to fit on an airplane. So it's meant to be a traveling, gigging, do all your shows type of kit. full sound. So small kit with a full drum set sound. Now, if you put a Yamaha EAD on that, in addition to that, so it mics your entire kit. It has XY stereo condenser microphones, customizable, in addition to triggers that you can hook up to it. And you can put that on your bass drum hoop, and then it will make any kit sound like, you can make it sound like an arena kit, like John Bonham kit, you know? So you can make like a 16-inch bass drum sound like a 26-inch bass drum. No joke. Just with that one device, with a Yamaha EAD. So check into it. It's $500. It's $500, but it's worth it, man. It's the best piece of gear I've ever gotten that isn't an actual drum or, you know, hardware or that kind of a thing, or cymbals, that kind of thing. Oh, I have one. Yeah, they're great. They're great, Lindsay. I mean, but honestly, I wouldn't get one because you already have an electric kit. You have one. you have an electric kit. Just don't turn the electric kit on and play with the pads. You already have one. But yeah, DW makes a nice one, and it comes as like a little tree. I don't even know where mine went by now, but yeah, it's like a little tree, and then you put all the pads on it. Hey, drummer ELT, this is it. This is a Yamaha EAD. Right there. That's the Yamaha EAD. So you can see all it does is it hooks up to your bass drum hoop. That's it. Right through there. And then it has microphones in here. So it'll mic your entire kit. And then it has this module right here. And then with this module, you can get your kit to sound like anything you want. Plus, you can hook up triggers to it. And let me show you this is what the triggers look like. So if you wanted to, you could even put a trigger on each drum and then hook that wire up to the module. And then you'd have triggered sounds, or like you could make your floor tom sound like a kick drum. Or you can make the rim of your rack tom sound like a cowbell. Or, you know, there's a lot of options with it. And then, like I said, just putting this here, all you need is one output for a mono or two outputs for a stereo. And that's it. And then you can hook up, and it's phenomenal for recording and practicing. So it'll go straight to your phone, straight to a computer, and then the outputs right here. You can see right here, it just has a left and a right output. So if you're ever doing a gig or that kind of thing, and you have limited space, or let's say you only have two inputs for like this type of an interface, right? You can do a right and a left and mic your entire kit off of that one thing. It's super powerful, dude. Super powerful. And this is the bot kit I was talking about. This is the frequent flyer. So what I've done in the past is just take this kit and see, look how small this bass drum is. I mean, yeah, it's still a good size for a bot kit, but you know, compared to a 22 by 18 Mapex, it's tiny. So, you know, just giving you ideas, but for $500, dude, you're not going to get anything better that's going to make you sound as good and is as versatile. And then you never have to get another kit because you can make your one kit sound like a million different kits just by using the Yamaha ED. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, check it out, drummer. And you can get them used too for like $300. And they're indestructible because it has a metal housing. So this metal housing right here, it's literally indestructible. I mean, I wouldn't recommend like chucking it off your roof, but you know, if you drop it or something like that, it's not going to break and it'll still work perfectly fine. And then this is super light and just made of plastic, and it has a bottom part to where you can mount it. So if you want to mount it up high, so you have your controls, that kind of thing. Dude, it's perfect. Okay, back to the inside. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. That's cool. Thank you. It's good to see you all, yeah? Especially while I'm kind of sick and just hanging out. But, yeah, so back to this brass drum. So, yeah, dude, $350. Like, you're not going to beat that, especially for the sound quality. And if you get a metal drum like this, dude, this, you literally would have to like run over this with a car to destroy it. You know what I mean? If you drop it, yeah, you might dent it some, that kind of thing. But, you know, it's way, way, way more, I was going to say versatile too, but it's way stronger built and more versatile than I think than a wooden drum. Because you can, depending on how you muffle this, depending on your head choice, depending on your hoops, depending on all that, you can get this to sound like a wooden drum. But the thing with wood is eventually your bearing edges are going to start to either chip or disintegrate. Your wood might get, you know, it might swell, you know, depending on if you keep your drums inside or outside. What's the humidity like? You know, wood is very sensitive to all those different conditions. That's why I always run a heater at night, and I keep all my stuff indoors at all times. Well, wood, I wouldn't say better. It depends on context. It depends on context. I have tons of wood drums. I love wood drums. Yeah. Like for my toms and for most of all my other drums, then yeah, it depends on the context. That's the best answer I can give. But brass will last you longer. I think it sounds a little better because it has more musical overtones. And in addition to that, it will fit more genres than just your wood snare would. Your wood snare would. Question. I don't know what your question was. You didn't understand what I was saying? Hey, thank you so much. Facundo? Facundo. Oh yeah, I was saying to Unsal, he put 3 question marks, so I was unsure what he meant by that. But thank you, I appreciate you saying I look good today, and thank you, I appreciate that. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I can do that for you, Lindsay. So that's a term of what we call gridding. Okay, so has your teacher taught you about the grid? Should answer that first. Knowing your grid is really important, and knowing what gridding is important. Here, I'll quickly explain just with sticks what gridding is. I happen to have my pad right here. You know, I've always got my sticks and my pad nearby. Oh, I'm glad to finally have a Saturday. My goodness. I work 7 days a week, and I don't think I've had a Saturday off or a Sunday off in months and months. And look how beautifully this pad fits right on top of that. Perfect. So when you're doing gridding, okay, just taking something like single stroke 16ths, and I'll do it with 16ths so you kind of understand what I'm saying just with 16ths, okay? And so you're saying starting on the 1E and 3. Oh yeah, with quarter, yeah, okay, so extrapolate that same type of idea with quarter notes and then eighths and then also triplets. Don't forget your triplets and then 16ths, okay? So yeah, with gridding, basically it's taking something just like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and then focusing on the act with your hands. It's more of accenting, but what I'll do is I'll accent the note for you so you kind of understand how you should be shifting your note. So just think of all your syllables: 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E. You know, so you're basically doing it on the downbeat, the E, the and then the and then combos of groupings of those different syllables. We call them groupings, right? So a 1E would be a grouping of 2, and then your 3 is just, well, not a group, but one beat, right? So if you're doing 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, right? So then accent first. Hello. Accent first on your downbeat. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And then on the E. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And then on the and. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And then on the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. That kind of thing. And then just do it without stopping. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. That kind of idea. So that's kind of what gridding is. And I know it's hard without seeing the bass drum or that kind of a thing. But yeah, I'll help you with that. I'll help you with that. And just kind of thinking of your foot. And honestly, it's toe ball. It's all that toe ball exercise. So especially when you're playing 16ths with one bass drum pedal. I know you've been playing with double bass drum pedal. So, you know, that's a little different. But as you know, I've practiced so much that I just play with single bass drum pedal, even playing 16ths. So when you're doing that, play it as a 1E, toe ball, toe ball. So basically you're in resting position, heels up just a little bit, right? First strike is when you raise your foot. That's the first strike and the first hit. And then when you drop your foot is the second hit. So 1E, 1E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E. And then you can go to 1E and 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and. So then you can change it to the E and, right? And then the and up. And then to the, you know, through, that kind of thing. Down into the downbeat. So yeah, if you can explain too a little bit more of what you mean, moving over by one beat, I think you mean by one syllable. Are you talking about like moving from beat 3 to beat 4? To beat 1 to beat 2, like on the downbeats, or are you talking about all your upbeats with the syllables? That's okay. Here, you know what we'll do, Lindsay, is we'll do like a Zoom lesson or something. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't read Russian or Cyrillic. I don't have the translate, and I don't understand. Yeah, Perk, I'll help you out. I'll help you out, no problem. Yeah, I get that, Lindsay. I get that. And really what that is, like I have had a student that I was just telling yesterday, like counting and reading was super, super hard for this student, right? To the point, just put it off. I don't want to do it. I kept saying, like, eventually you're going to have to know it. Eventually you're going to have to know it. You're going to get to a point where you're going to get so good that you can't progress unless you know how to read or count. Hopefully both, you know, at least you got to be able to count. Hopefully read too, that kind of thing, right? So, and what'll happen is just the more you count, and try counting out loud. I'm not sure if you count out loud or just in your head, Lindsay, but really try to count out loud. Try to count out loud. And I'll help you. Okay? So we'll do a Zoom thing. Email me, okay? Email me or write me a comment when the live comes up, and I'll give you my email, and then send me an email, and we'll figure it out together, okay? I'll help you out. And same with you, Perk. If you need to learn how to count, I'll help you out of count, man. No problem. I do lesson videos all the time. I do, live stream lesson videos, playing, answering questions, playing to tunes, whatever. Usually I work a lot. That's what I'm typically doing, is working. So that's why I haven't been streaming and doing videos lately. But I'm trying to get back into it so that way I can, have a little more fun. I need it too, because you start to realize how much you miss it. Like, if you're an artist and you're a musician, and especially with what drums and music have brought to me, and like using my legs again and figuring all that out, man, it's like you really start to miss it. You really start to miss it. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my point really quick, because now we've, I don't know, done like 30 minutes of sidetracking and showing and answering questions and all that. Yeah, totally, Perk. I'll help you out, dude. No problem. And like I said, my email's in my bio. Okay? If you want to write it down, I'll tell it to you really quick. Go grab a pen and pencil while I explain this really fast. Or please, if you want to. Otherwise, you can just look it up in my bio. Okay, guys, so like I was saying, you want your throw off to be off when you're mounting new snares. Okay? Now, what I've done with this drum, it originally came with triple flanged chrome hoops. What I did is I took those off. I special ordered solid brass die cast hoops, because I figured polished brass with polished brass might look nice. Plus, I love die cast hoops. In addition, I'm putting a 30 strander on instead of a 20 strander. I know, it's pretty hilarious. But I've done this once before with another drum, and it actually worked out, because if you keep your tension the right way and you play a lot of ghost notes, and you know how to work with that many snares, actually it's pretty cool. You're sorry what? Sorry for what? I see what you're saying, yeah, but if you're starting on the 1 and the E, then how are you going to E? That's why I was confused. Do you mean just starting on 1 and 3, and then going to E in 3, and then going to and in 3, and then going to in 3? I think that's what you mean. But if you're starting with the 1 and the E, so then basically you're just taking away beat 1 on your second time around, and you're just playing the E in the 3? Okay, and Perk, if you're ready, my email is jblakaen2002 So it should read like my name, jBlakeN2002 So like my name, BlakeNunnDrums. So just think of J Blake N for none 2002. All right. So when you're doing this, first you want to do the butt plate. Now, you want to make sure this is loose and almost all the way loose to where your throw off might even almost fall apart. Don't let it fall apart. I was saying that earlier. Hold this piece while you're unscrewing it, just in case it starts, because there's a screw in here in a lot of throw offs. And if it comes apart and that screw falls on the ground, you're going to spend about 30 minutes trying to get these small pieces back together and get it all to fit. Don't do that. Just let it be loose, but still connected. Okay. So I have this right now, probably about 3-4 turns from being all the way loose. Okay. And off. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to attach the butt plate. And we want to make sure that once I attach it, that everything is equidistant. So it's not so far to this side, it's not too far to this side, but it's right equal in the middle. So you don't want it touching your bearing edges. You don't want it, you know, way off to one more side when you engage the throw off, that kind of thing. You want everything to be nice and even. So I'm gonna look there, keep it even. Put this through the butt plate. And then these just take regular drum keys in order to tighten them. Cool. So then now we just got the butt plate tightened. So if I pull on it, it's not going to go anywhere. Right? And you can tell once I do pull it tight, see how it is pretty much equidistant or right from the edge as I pull it tight. So when it's engaged, you're going to see it's going to be right about equidistant. Okay? That's really important. And it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of time. Because when I was first learning how to do this, sometimes I'd have to reattach snares like, I don't know, 6 and 7 and 8 and 20,000 times, to the point where I'd just be like, oh, screw it, you know, just like, it's fine. And then it wasn't fine. And I'd get snare buzz and it sounded terrible and it choked my drum, but I would just get so frustrated that I'd like give up, that kind of thing, right? So the reason I know how to do all these things is because I've done it the wrong way first. And now I can help all of you to do it the right way without having to make the same mistakes that I did as I was learning. And so you can see I do still have the drum upside down. And a lot of times, if you have a throw off that you've used a lot, your throw off isn't going to stay up. Like it's going to keep falling just because of gravity. Because this is so new, and because it's a gradual throw off to where I can add like gradual tension, more tension, but instead of just all the way on or all the way off, this stays up for me. But a lot of snares, it won't happen, where this is just going to keep falling down. It's going to keep falling down. So what you can do, you can see right here that it's next to a lug. You can either just tape it right there, just take a little piece of tape and tape it there so it stays there. That way you don't have to use one hand holding it while you're trying to mount everything. You'll still have two hands to work with everything, okay? Or you can also, once you've got this threaded through the actual part that's going to grasp onto it, you can turn the drum back right side up, right? As long as you have this piece here. Yeah. So you get it. You get it. So now that this is off, my tension's really low. You know, now it'll stay there because of gravity, regardless of, you know, how it'll stay, if it's brand new or not. Okay? I'm going to turn it back upside down just because mine will stay. And when you're doing this too, you want to make sure you give it some tension, you know, pull it hard. Don't just like let it sit there and then tighten it, because it's not going to be the right amount of tension. You want things to be tight even when it's at your loosest tension here. Because your finger tightness is nothing compared to how tight your throw off can actually get the tension. You just pulling with two fingers, that's not a lot of tension. So don't worry about that. And make sure you go back and forth between both. Like don't like over tighten one side, because you will strip these if you're not careful. So what I do is I do like this. I do like this one a little bit, this one a little bit, this one a little bit, until they're both, you know, have the same amount of tension. Same thing with tuning, and I'll show you here in just a second with the tuning. Okay, well, let's see how this baby's going. Now, when your throw off is off, and you have this pretty much all the way loose, You want it to where your snares are not touching the head at all. Where you can shake it, you don't hear snares. See, now I'm angling it. Okay, that's pretty good. I might even have to redo it myself again, you know, just to see. That's kind of tight there. Let's see. Oh, see, it happened to me. I thought it might. That's what happens. See? So it's okay though. It's a good learning experience, so that then you guys can see how it works. So mine just has a spring and it has a screw in it. And I've dealt with this before, so I can fix it really quick. But that's what I was saying. Don't let that happen, because it can take a long time for you to figure out how to get everything back together again. For me, like I said, I've done this a bunch, so it just takes me 2 seconds. Boom, back on. See, now it won't come back off. Okay, but what that tells me is that the snares are too tight, even at the loosest tension. So I need to give it a little bit more slack in order for when I do tighten it, that it has enough room to get that kind of tightness. So what I'm gonna do is just a bit. Just a bit. There we go. Okay, so then now you can see how easy it was for me to... And you want to hear that sound too. That's another thing. When you engage your snares, you want to hear that. You want to hear that kind of snap sound. That'll tell you that you got your even tension of all your snares kind of hitting at the same time. Okay? You get more sympathetic buzz from... Yeah, you can get... That's a great question too. Yeah, sympathetic resonance will definitely happen with 30 strands versus 20 strands. Yes, 100%. But if you know how to get your tension just right, if you know how to use a good head combo, maybe even a little bit of muffling, that kind of thing, then no. Then no. So, and here's the thing too, if it's a context thing, if you're doing a recording, then yeah, you want 0 sympathetic resonance, right? I would highly recommend then using a 20 strand or something like that, right? Because you want quick notes, you don't want a bunch of mud, you don't want a bunch of sympathetic resonance and, you know, drums and cymbals and everything ringing out when you don't want it to. You want short decay, that kind of thing with recording. But here's the thing. If you're in a live situation, it's not going to matter, you know? And this is going to help you cut through a wall of amps more than a 20-strander is. So, and I was kind of describing that earlier too, is that if you want just good all around, man, blasters, everything backwards for look at that. Blasters are great. So blasters will also cut through the mix, but they're only 20 strand. So if you're looking for something that's going to cut, be sensitive, but also really project, blasters are great. Blasters are really great. Okay, so we got the snare wires on. Tighten it up a little bit. And I have to tune, I'm going to have to tune the bottom head up. So I didn't tune the bottom head. I just put the bottom head back on with the hoop. And then put the snares on. But now that I know the snare wires are at a good tension, and the top head is tuned, And I'm letting things stretch too. Like I literally am just putting these hoops on, and I'm literally just putting these heads on. So they're going to stretch throughout the day. I'm going to have to retune them again. All that. Oh, back to the drum dial. Okay, guys, these are expensive. They really are. But they're worth it. If you're a drummer and you tune a lot and you've got a lot of tuning to do and you need to do it quickly, this is definitely the thing to get. Okay, guys? So, let me see. I'm probably going to have to recalibrate it. Yeah. So, the digital ones you have to put on a perfectly flat plane of glass. Looks like this. Comes in this kit. Okay? So I have to put it on that plane so it calibrates. And then turn it on. And then when you raise it, it'll show 0. Oh, just kidding. Okay, off. On. What in the heck? Nah, maybe just have to calibrate. There we go. Yeah, I had to hit calibrate, sorry. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Too many things going on. So now it'll say 0, right? Now, with snares, with your batter head, you typically want your snares anywhere from like 80 to 90. Honestly, you want them pretty high. You want them high. And I really like using texture coated heads, especially for my snares. Okay? Now this is a single ply. This is a texture coated single ply Aquarian. Love these. Especially for snares, I should say. I don't love them I like them for anything, but as far as like putting them on every drum, I wouldn't really recommend doing that. But for snares, they are amazing. They're amazing. Because it dries out all the bad overtones, keeps the good overtones, and this coating is part of the head. It's not sprayed on like Evans. Evans sprays on their coatings. A lot of people don't know that. That's why it chips eventually, and then you get that little dot in the middle, and it starts to turn like clear, right? This head is actually this material. So it's part of the head. That's why I love them. And the mounting ring of these heads and the construction, like if you compare Aquarian texture coated to like an Evans G2 or Evans G1 side by side, the Aquarian beats the pants off of Evans. And I'm an Evans fan. I like Evans. I definitely like Evans. Okay, back to here, tuning really quick, just checking. So I'm at 89, 89, 89, 88.5, which is still fine, whatever. I'm going to tap tune in the end anyway, but it's just stretching out a little bit. And because I'm going to be doing most of my rim shots right on this lug, I like to tune those up a little bit higher sometimes. And you guys can hear that. Each time I take this off, right, you're hearing that wow, those overtones, that. So I can tell by each lug of how I'm hearing that. So I'm hearing wang, 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 wang. So that way I know that this is lower just by the tap tuning of it. So even though this says that they're both 90, obviously you can hear a difference, right? Just a subtle difference, right? So as I'm kind of using this, I will also tap tune depending on what I'm hearing as far as like the harmonic of it. And a great way of doing that too is going across each time. So you're doing. So if you hear it, I'm hearing right, where this is lower. So just trying to help you guys with some tuning techniques too. if you guys do that, it's gonna make it so that it's faster on you, I promise. In addition to helping you where you're not spending all day tuning the drum, that kind of thing. Okay, so drum dial, they make an analog version that's cheaper. These are like $50. They are expensive, but once you got it, you got it. Don't drop it. If you drop it, they're ruined. It won't calibrate anymore, and because this whole bottom part is a weight, so you have to be very careful. Okay, so last but not least, let's do this bottom head. 75, 72, 75, and 68. So now we know where our lowest spot is. 72, 72, 72, 69. 72, 76. Okay, and last but not least, these are called your snare beds. In many drums, the bearing edge is kind of flattened out in this area in order for the snares to make greater contact with the head. So a lot of times, these two lugs right here and these two lugs right here are going to measure lower than the rest of the drum because it doesn't have as sharp or as pronounced of a bearing edge as the snare beds, or the snare beds don't have as pronounced a bearing edge as the rest of the drum dials. Okay. I know I'm probably boring you guys a bunch and all that, so we'll hurry up here. But I think I just want to at least kind of share what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and it might help you guys tune and that kind of stuff. And with your bottom head, like I said, don't give it CPR, don't tap tune it with a stick, don't hit it, don't push on it. 300 millimeters is really thin. It's like a thin little balloon. So it's made of Mylar, the same thing that balloons are made out of. And if you push through this or you hit it hard, you're going to break the head right away. Okay? So be really careful with it. Be really careful with it. Okay, so let's look at this together. What are we at? 75? 76? 75? 72? 74.5. See, now, so I found my lowest point. Oftentimes drums will have one lug that's like a lot lower or a lot higher or harder to turn than all the rest. That's another reason I use the white lithium grease, because it makes everything super easy to turn and super easy to tune. Okay? All right, so we're almost there. 73. 76. 74. 72. 74. 76, 78. Okay, now for the general area of the bottom of the drum, the way you want to tap tune, if you got snares, here's a little trick. You put a stick underneath the snares. Let me show you what I'm doing. You put a stick underneath the snares. Make sure everything's loose so you're not damaging your drum or damaging your snares, like that. Then it takes the snares off the drum. Okay? So then that way, when you're tuning, you're not going to get the snare sound every time that you hit it, okay? You can hear da 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 da, right? That's better. Okay, and now that I've got this side of the snare bed, I always want to go across. So don't go in a circle. You don't want to go in a circle, okay? We go in what we call a star plus pattern. So usually we start one side, go across. Then we start one side, go across. Then we go from like this side, like drawing a star, here to here to here to here to here to here. Okay? So, and that's really important because otherwise you're going to get tension that's going to be all wonky, all uneven. Yeah, and stuff's not going to sound good. Yeah, it depends on like I was saying, buddy, it's all about the context, Southwest, all about the context. You know, that's why it's hard. It's art, you know, and it's sound. It's a personal, it's personal taste, and it's subjective, you know. So it's hard for me to give, like, I can give you good advice that'll work, you know, that I just know will work in situations. But if you have certain preferences that you like, go for that, 100%, dude. Go for that. Da 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 da. Right? Okay, now with your reso head on a snare, and like I said, don't try to seat it, you know, don't try to stretch it. You can push on it a little bit, you know, you can push on it a little bit, but do not do full CPR like you would on a regular batter head and seating heads. Don't do that just with the reso head on a snare. If you have a they even make 200 mil snare, which is going to be even easier to break. It only took one of these blowing up in my face for me to learn my lesson, okay? And I just did like a quarter turn too much, and the whole bam, and the snares went. Oh my goodness! I was like, ah! Almost took my eye out. So I learned that lesson the hard way, and never again. Never again. This is a DW snare? No, this is a pork pie snare. This snare only costs $350, dude. Well, I'm making it $1,000 snare, but yeah, it was like $350, $400, but I'm making it $1,000 drum now is what I'm doing. I ordered these special. So these are solid brass 13x7 die cast hoops with a polished brass patina, pork pie, made by Bill himself, signed on the inside, and with a Aquarian texture coated I put on top. I don't do any drugs, but okay. You know, we were just talking about that earlier. It really just shows how upset you are with yourself, that you have nothing better to do on a Saturday than to go into random lives and troll people that you know nothing about. How sad is that? Honestly. If anyone's a clown here, it's you, dude. It's 100% you. You are the clown. The loudest person in the room is always the clown. The loudest person in the room is the least dangerous person, the least intelligent person, and the most insecure person. So you can continue to talk. I mean, if you want to just go ahead and make a fool of yourself in my chat, you're welcome to do so. You're welcome to do so. But it's you that's making a fool of yourself. Yeah, agreed. 100%. And the funny thing is you came into a chat with a guy who's a teacher, a school psychologist, a musician, a therapist, and a music therapist. So you're kind of outmatched here, my friend. Greatly outmatched. How many advanced degrees do you have, Tin Man? Let's start with that. Do you even have a college degree? Do you have a high school degree? Let's figure that out. Do you have a diploma? And mysteriously you stopped answering. Yeah, and that's what I thought. So back to the drum. We're pretty much there as far as all of our tension. And what I would want this to be at is right about 78 to 80. 78 to 80. Typically I have my batter snare, they say like 85 to 90. And then these I want more in the top 70 range, because I still do want that sensitivity. And if you tighten things to like 85, 80, 85, 90 with a reso head, you're choking the heck out of the drum. So you're not getting the character of the drum. It's basically like hugging the drum while you're trying to play it, you know? It's like everything's so tight that I can't say anything, you know, that kind of thing. But if you're lit and you've got all of the different sound waves reverberating back and forth, then it gives a much more open sound. So I like to always try to leave my reso heads a bit looser. Okay, let's see what we're doing. Oh, and then once you've got that degree on each of the lugs, now here's a good point, is to put it in the middle, and you want the middle measurement to be the same as all of the ones of your lugs. Then you know you're like perfect tension. And then it just kind of comes down to personal characteristics of tap tuning and that kind of stuff. But that way you do that, kind of. So what I'm hearing is this one and this one. Oh, there were two. But this one and this one are like my two lowest ones. So I'm just going to crank those up a little bit. Close. We're getting close. We're cooking with gas, boys. We're cooking with gas. Okay, let's see where we're at. Perfect. Oh, not perfect. Only by half a point, though. Perfect. Half a point. Okay, I think we're ready, guys. Let's see. It's gonna sound great. I tune my snares really high too, especially right in the beginning. I was saying earlier, this is all gonna stretch out throughout the day, and you'd be amazed at this is gonna drop like 2 to 3 whole fundamentals just overnight. Okay, let's engage the snares now. That's the sound you want when you engage the snares. Oh yeah. Sorry guys, I have a severe back problem, so it hurts getting up and moving around. Okay, let's take this out to the garage. Sorry guys, I'm in a lot of pain. Okay. All right, and let's take a look at it. Oh, isn't that a beaut? Isn't that pretty, guys? Like it? Pretty cool, huh? I like it. And looky what we have here. We just happen to have a snare stand sitting nearby. that we can just throw some random snares in. All right, here. Let me put you guys up here for just a second. Okay, let me get stuff set up. It'll just take me 2 seconds. And yeah, dude, Tin Man, I'm giving you the chance to be cool, but you're very obviously not cool, and you think you are, but you must be like 10, because believe me, one day you're going to look back at this and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I was such an idiot when I was a kid. Why did I ever say those things? I guarantee it. I promise you that's going to happen. And you know how I know that, Tin Man? Because I used to be you. I used to be you. And guess what? Life handed my butt to me over and over and over and over again until I learned my lesson. So eventually, that's going to happen to you. And it's better that, you learn your lesson quicker and you don't have to go through that stuff. It's better to avoid all that. I promise you. I'm trying to help you, even though you're being, disrespectful and an idiot. I'm still going to try to help you. We got sirens going. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a 13. I always make my snare baskets like for my 14s, and then I put a 13 in, and I'm like, oh yeah, this drum's way smaller. And then also, if you guys need drums, I have lots of drums. I have lots of great snares, and one guy will tell you, I just hooked this guy up with $1,200 in brand new cymbals for $500. Yeah. So, okay, we got it going. So, I just sold a 23-inch A Suite, 15-inch New Beats, and I gave him a free K Dark medium thin Crash, and all for $500. And everything was brand new except for the Crash. So, I've got lots of stuff just kind of decorating, and stuff that I use on all my kits. But I got lots of snares over there. I sell stuff, so if you guys are looking. And then obviously I've got my kit worth of stuff that I got just my setup here now. But here's where the gold's at. So every single one of these bags are full of cymbals. I would say probably close to 50 to 60 cymbals. 50 to 60, and many of them are brand new. So if you guys need full sets, like I have this full set that I put for Mike. I hope you're watching, Mr. Mike something. Mr. Mike M, you know who you are. If you watch this, you might be watching now. I don't know. I got him this whole HHX complex set. This set is amazing, brand new. I've got the Crash. I got the Ride. I've got everything. So I got brand new stuff. I got used stuff. I even have K-Cons, handmade Turkish stuff. So, sorry, I don't mean to be like trying to sell stuff, but I need the money, unfortunately, guys. I don't want to sell my stuff. You think I want to sell this stuff? Anyway, when I've got it. Okay, let's try this. Let's see how this sounds. And then, of course, as I always do, I use a drum as my stand. This is my stand right here. This is my floor tom. And to the guy, I forget if you're still here, drummer ELB, but making Frankenstein kits, that's what I mean. So like what I'll do is I'll put like this floor tom, right, with this kit. So then I have 2 floor toms, right? And this kit, it only came with 1 rack tom. But then what I did was I found a brand new rack tom in a similar finish, but just gloss, for super cheap, and then now I can have 2 rack toms and 2 floor toms. See what I'm saying? So there are smart ways to do it. You know, just kind of have to kind of figure out how to upgrade, how to trade, how to flip stuff over time. Okay, let's see how this sounds. How are we looking? Are we good? And I'm not going to really be able to read chat for a bit. Yeah, oh, SJC's great. I bought a SJC kit for a girl. I got her, you know what I got her was that marble looking kit. So back when I was making a lot of money, usually each year I would give 2 or 3 kids full kits. So I would buy them for them. A lot of times they were used, but for her, I got her a brand new SJC custom ordered kit from the factory of the marble finished one. Yeah, great kits. I've had this snare for quite a while. You are bad vibes. Well, you seem like you're good vibes right now. I hope you remain good vibes. Oh, dude, the HHX set is, and I told Mike, I was like, dude, I'm going to sell it to someone else because I've been holding it for him for like 2.5 weeks. And that's my best set, and they're brand new. I mean, they're good, dude. They're really good. That's my favorite Sabian set. I love the HHX complexes, dude. I love them. My email is in my bio. So you can email me, and then I can give you my phone number. We can, we'll figure it out. I also have a reverb shop under this same name. I don't have that listed on my reverb shop, but if you send me a message on reverb, we can do it through that way too. We can organize it. Yeah, the Goliath and 14x7. Yeah. That's what I would recommend, buddy. I'll throw you a fat deal too. Like I said, so this kid, but the reason I did this for this kid, okay, you got to understand, I reward hard work. Like I said, I'm a teacher and I had to go through it myself. Okay. And so I make people earn it. Okay. And well, not make them earn it, but what he did was, number one, he told me, oh, well, I've already been practicing on a practice pad and sticks for an entire year. I just now got my very first drum set, and it's a Ludwig Breakbeats kit, right? A small little bot practice kit, right? So he practiced for a whole year before he even got a kit. Then he got a good little practice kit, cheap kit that he could afford and get. And then what did he do? He followed my advice and he invested in cymbals. Because cymbals, you can't tune cymbals, right? You can tune crappy drums. You can get crappy drums to sound like anything, but you can't tune cymbals. So if you're going to invest in anything, right off the bat, invest in good cymbals. Invest in good cymbals. So he did. And I gave him some of my best. You can tell I'm having seller's remorse. I'm like, dang, man, I gave that kid such a good deal. And I'm happy to do it. He's a great guy. His name's MJ. But anyway, MJ, if you're watching too. So I gave that to him, and he's in love with it too. He's moving right now, but that way he has that setup of cymbals that will go with any kit. It's the same thing with the snare, guys. It's the same thing with the snare. Your snare is your main voice. Okay? Your cymbals, your snare, and then kick really is your main voice. So you want to invest in good snares and good cymbals because that will go with any kit that you buy, any kit that you play with. Okay? All right, enough talk. Let's see how it sounds. Let me at least put the badge towards you so you can see this hilarious pig. Okay, we're going to have to flatten this out a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, see right away, like I didn't even really tap tune. All I did was just put these die cast tubes on, put an Aquarian on the top. Woohoo! See, and then that way you can get good musical overtones, and see how quick the decay is. I don't have to use any muffling. And then that's with 30 strands too. See, so if you know what you're doing, and you know, I like my snares loose, but that's really loose, right? Because the looser you leave your snares, the more your drum's gonna speak. Yeah, this is gonna sound great. Oh, and with those die cast too, listen to that cross stick. Woo! We're in business, boys and girls. And you hear the musical overtones of it, that wing wing, but they're musical. That's the thing. So with overtones, I don't mind overtones, but they got to be musical overtones, right? And a lot of times, drummers get really frustrated because, oh, sorry, I'll show you here. I've got another brass drum right here. This is a Yamaha. This one right here. This is a recording custom. This is the Steve Gadd signature recording custom. I got this used. And then I cleaned the whole thing up, refurbished it, and then I put an S-hoop on top instead of the triple flange that it came with. So this is what this brass sounds like, and this is a 14 by 5.5. Pretty good. Reaching pretty far, but you can see, just kind of the difference in timbre between getting something like that, a lot brighter, a lot more overtones, pingier. But like I said, it's because the lacquer, the polish really makes a huge difference, guys. It really does. People don't realize that, but if you get something that's
polished, bright, lots of like a lot of heavy lacquer. You can think of it like a whole nother ply on the drum. If it's just a thin ply of lacquer, it doesn't really affect the sound that much. But if you have really thick, good lacquer, like my Mapex drum over there, it's got gloss lacquer and thick. This kit, you can see, like, yeah, it's shining, like, even with the dust all over it. All right, I got dust all over this. But this lacquer here, like, that does affect the sound some. That does affect the sound some. But, you know, if you got a little bit thinner lacquer, like here, it's still lacquered and protected, but it's just a little bit thinner. Doesn't affect the sound as much. So, but dang, this pork pie sings. Glad I set it up. And the reason I put those die cast on it, guys, is because these drums have a lot of overtones and are really open with triple flange hoops. So that's why I wanted to try this. Plus the look, you know, I figured polished die-cast brass hoops with polished brass drum might look cool, and I think it does. Do you guys like how it looks? Looks pretty cool. What do you think? Looks like a jewel. It's pretty cool. You like it? Oh, that's called a drum dial. Oh, excellent, dude. Yeah, bad vibes. If you've been playing that long, dude, yeah, I'm sure you'll pick up super quick, man. PDP concepts are great. Oh, dude, that's great. You have a great kit. I have the whole K suite set too. Where can you get a drum dial? A lot of times they have them. Just, I don't know if what's in your local area or where you live, but sometimes Guitar Center has them, that kind of thing. But I would not recommend going to Guitar Center. I hate Guitar Center, to be honest with you. But it's called a drum dial, and you can get it on Amazon. You can get Sweetwater. You can get one on Sweetwater. Sorry, it was outside. You can get one on Sweetwater too. Sweetwater definitely has one. They make an analog one that's a little bit cheaper, so it has an actual dial, you know, a physical dial like a clock. Like this. Okay, it has a physical dial that shows you where you're at. Or you can get the digital one like I have that tells you down to the points of PSI. So it's like $20 more. I think it's like $70, but it's worth it because it'll tell you down like you're at 79.2, 79.5, 79. The other one doesn't do that. Yeah, Guitar Center sucks. Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I just order stuff mostly off of Reverb, man. Because I have my own shop there, and I'm a really trusted buyer and seller there, and so people know me on Reverb, man. So yeah, check out Reverb, and people mess with me because they know that I'm gonna give them a phenomenal deal. I always stick to my word. Whatever you know, they get delivered in the mail. Oh, still sideways. Sorry. Whatever they get delivered in the mail is gonna be even better than what they were expecting. You know what I mean? So that's why I have a lot of people that mess with me. But yeah, I think this drum looks great. And then, last but not least, and I'll end this video, snare weights. So, most people, including me, use moon gel. Sure, right? I like the clear moon gel because then it doesn't stain a white coated head. So if you're going to use moon gel, try to get the clear ones, especially if you're on a coated head. That way you're not going to get a blue dot on your drum, if you care about that. But moon gels, right? Or you can get a snare weight. Now, these snare weights are pricey. They're like $100. They're a lot. But you can use them on any drum. you can change out the sensitivity. It's all neodymium magnets with leather floating straps on it. So what it does is this strap kind of floats here on the drum. So it works with the drum, but it chokes out all those overtones. Not all of them, but most of them. If you have a die-cast hoop, you have to have this second attachment, okay? Because this only fits on flanged hoops regularly. It just sits on like that. You could just put it on like that, you know, but it'll kind of slide around and move around, that kind of thing. If you use this, this just goes here. Put it here, and it has nice padding here, so it's not going to scratch your hoops. And then you slide this like a puzzle piece through the top here. And like I said, it's neodymium magnets. And then it just floats there. Kind of cool, huh? So then you get this sound. Sounds pretty good. I like those overtones. Now without the overtones, pretty cool, right? So, and you're not going to get that with moon gel because this has weight to it. That's why they call it a snare weight, right? Now, snare weights are very cool because you can actually add other attachments to them. You can add other leather to them. If I can find it. I have too much stuff everywhere. Okay. I can't find it. But it's basically long leather pieces that you can fit in instead of that small floating leather piece. And you can attach those, and then it will surround basically the perimeter of your head. Yeah, I can't find it right now. Too bad. Too bad, so sad. Oh, here's one. Hey, I found him. Cool. So then, you can use these pieces. Pretty cool. So what you do is then you just take this out, right? This floating piece that was just in there. And then see, each one of these sides has magnets on them too. So all you have to do is just put one on one side, one on the other side. Sandwich them in kind of like that, right? Now look, now you have these that'll float along the perimeter of your drum. Show you. Here. Like that. It's pretty cool. Or you can just use one, you know? Just use one. And they make smaller ones too, and that kind of thing. And you can use them on your toms. You can use them on your toms. So here, I'll do it with this on it too, so that way you can at least get a sound profile. But see, I like overtones, so I don't like choking the heck out of my drum and just like eliminating every overtone. If I'm playing, you know, punk and rock, that kind of thing, yeah, maybe. But it's a little close to the mic too, sorry. But you can hear like no overtones at all, right? Which sounds good. Which, for certain contexts, that's great. That's great. It's got some cool rim shot sounds too. It's gotta go. So that's with all the snare weights on. Here's with just one of them on, one of these on. I like that a little bit. You get more of that higher fundamental. Now here's with nothing on, and there's not even, it's just the metal on it. It takes some of those overtones out, but it works with the brass and the drum, and it kind of gives a brass sound to this as well. So, I don't know. I kind of like using, all the above, but for me, it's mostly, I always use just the thinnest, the thinnest purple. Here it is. This one. I usually just use this because I like my overtones, like I said. So. And you can order just these too. They are just like a little longer, a little longer, a little longer. Or instead of doubling up like this, they're just single ply, that kind of thing. But yeah, they're great. I love this stuff, man. You can tell how excited I get like a little kid when I'm building stuff and doing this. And man, I woke up really, really bad sore throat, guys. So I don't think I'm going to be able to talk much longer. But if you guys get, a snare weight, it can really help with just changing your sound on the fly. It's kind of like having a big fat snare cover. The only one I have around is this Jingle one right now. But, they make these without the tambies in them. If you get something like this or just make your own out of an old head, and you just throw that on your drum in the middle, it'll instantly change your drum from, like poppy, funk, groove, punk, loud punk, whatever, to more just like a fat, low rock sound, just that splat sound that you want for rock drumming. So this will give you that, if you know how to use it and you have the other inserts and you have the leather inserts, it'll definitely provide that for you without having to, buy a bazillion different things. That's basically what I try to tell my students. Is like, get as many sounds as you can out of one thing, especially, here's another trick with hi-hats, just while I'm talking. You don't need double pairs of a bunch of hi-hats. All you need is one of that dimension, and then you can start mixing and matching all sorts of different pairs. So like, let's say you have 3 pairs of 13s and 3 pairs of 14s. You can mix all those 3 pairs of 13s with like this bottom 13 with this top 13 of my third pair. This top second one with my bottom of my first pair. Just keep mixing and matching, and you'll get different sounds with the same plates that you own, and then you don't have to always buy pairs, So that's just another little secret. Hey, Trax, what's up, my buddy? Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah, drums, DCP's good and Sweetwater's good. So yeah, if you're gonna get a drum dial, then do that. Trax, I just built this, dude. Sorry, I'm sick today. Came out to the garage. This came with here. I'll be right back. Trax, entertain people while I go inside for 2 seconds. Okay. So yeah, Trax. It came with these on it, triple flanged. This is a pork pie. So I took these off. I custom ordered die-cast brass hoops for this brass drum. So it's pork pie, solid brass, polished. This is a polished version. And I'm sure you've seen it. They usually come in like blues and greens. I don't like that, so I just always get a solid color. And then I figured polished brass with solid polished brass die-cast tubes would look awesome and sound awesome, and it does. And I put a 30 strander on the bottom. I put a 30 strander on the bottom too, Puresounds. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. Yeah, so I was just inside. I've been on, you can tell, I've already been on 2 hours now. So I basically built this, went through tuning, explained drum dials, explained, you know, what you want to do when you take your drum apart, make sure everything's tight inside, how to mount snare wires, making sure your throw off is off and then almost all the way loose. Don't let it fall off because it will on most drums. You know, how to mount it. Then you want this sound when you mount them. You want that little snap when you engage it. That sound. And because this is a 13, it gives a much higher overall fundamental, but a really deep sound because it's 7 inches deep. It's a good drum, man. And then these cross sticks now are so fat. And I love those overdubs. My phone's about to run out of battery, guys, so I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna recharge, but hey, guys, I'm gonna be back on at 5 o'clock with the guitarist. Okay, if you can make it, please do. We're gonna live stream. Jay's coming, playing guitar. I'm gonna be using this new drum. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. So I'd love to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your questions, hanging out this whole time. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe so at least you might get the notification later. Or, you know, just kind of look for me around 5 o'clock Pacific time. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out. And happy drumming. Have a good rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you later. All right, guys? All right. Peace. God bless.